Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the episode Recap and Thoughts category. This video will be dedicated to the B segment of episode 47 of The Loud House, no spoilers. We begin this segment with Lincoln reporting to 9 of his 10 sisters and his dad that Leni is distracted. She thinks that she can communicate with Cliff the cat through blinking. And with Leni distracted, the present family members prepare their meeting about the surprise party for Rita's birthday. Lincoln also explains to the audience that Leni isn't part of the planning for the party because she has a track record of giving away the surprise, and we see a few flashbacks which prove this point. So, what are the present family members' objectives, or what roles do they have in the party preparations? Well, Lynn Sr. is going to take Rita out on the town and keep her occupied long enough so that the rest of the siblings can make the preparations. Lori is supposed to clean the house. Luna and Luann will provide the entertainment. Lynn and Lola will make the food. Lucy and Lana will set up the decorations. Lisa is in charge of the guest list. And Lincoln is tasked with keeping Leni occupied and distracted so that she won't find out about the surprise party. And after the roles have been assigned, Leni enters the room. She says that she's getting an item that Cliff requested through blinking, but she also takes the moment to see to figure out where everyone stands on the plans for the surprise party for Rita, and says that she'll tell Rita about the surprise party when they come to an agreement. The rest of the family members present put a stop to this they convince Leni that they're not going to throw a party for Rita this year, saying that they're just going to have Rita's birthday be low-key this year. And Leni buys this claim, and she takes her leave. And with that settled, Lynn Sr. prepares to take Rita out on the town. And with the parents gone, that leaves the rest of the siblings to begin their preparations. And in Lincoln's case, he has to think of a way to distract Leni. He ends up using fashion-related questions to distract Leni, given that Leni is an expert when it comes to fashion. And it works for the most part, but there are a few close calls here or there. Oh, and that's right. Lincoln is supposed to say daffodil if Leni is about to walk in on the rest of the siblings' preparation process. Or, yeah, the preparations they're making. But at one point, he forgets what the code word is. At another point, he falls down the stairs. So the rest of the siblings have to quickly improvise to prevent Leni from finding out about the surprise party. And eventually, they come up with a way to have Leni leave the house so that they can make their preparations undisturbed. They task Leni with finding a very specific birthday card. The birthday card in question is a scratch and sniff card of a camel in space, and it specifically mentions 11 kids in the card. They tell her that there's a store in Hazeltucky that may have the card, so she'll be quite a distance away so that they'll have time to make their preparations. Eventually, they complete their preparations and the guests arrive. They happen to be Mr. Grouse, Flip, and Dr. Feinstein, Rita's boss from the dentist office that we saw back in A Novel Idea. Lisa's justification for these three individuals as the guests is because she says that their neighbor, the owner of the convenience store they go to, and Rita's boss are the individuals that she encounters the most. Although the rest of the siblings point out that just because she encounters those people the most doesn't necessarily mean that she's friends with them. And we see that the other siblings, the preparations did not go very well. The decorations are kind of an awkward color, or sort of a unappealing color. In the case of the food, Lynn made the food too spicy, while the food Lola made was too sugary. Luna's music is a bit too loud. Luann wants to tell jokes about Rita's age. And yeah, you can tell that the party wasn't prepared very well. And they're all trying to figure out why didn't this particular party preparation why didn't the preparations for this party go well, but previous ones did. And they realize that while Leni does tend to give away the surprise, she actually is a great party planner, and her contributions were what made the rest of the previous parties memorable. So after they tell the guests to leave, but not before Flip takes some items before leaving, the rest of the siblings leave to try and find Leni. Well, first they try to call Leni, but she mistakes her ringtone as a musical card because she happened to open a card when her ringtone went off. So the siblings, when the calling doesn't work, the siblings try to get to Leni to bring her back, but it's later on in the day, and yeah, they couldn't find Leni, so they're bracing themselves for an unideal surprise party for their mother. But when they enter the house again, they find that Leni actually already made it back home, and she, in fact, already prepared the party. And we do see some guests that actually make sense for Rita's birthday. Her dad, Albert, her aunt, Ruth, and there's a couple of background characters. I'm guessing the implication is that they're friends of Rita's. And Leni admits that while they wanted to do things low-key, she thought that it was still a good idea to do a high-key party because their mother deserved it. And Leni actually found the very specific birthday card that they sent her to get in the first place. And they hear the parents returning home, and so they're all able to hide. And when the parents enter, they actually pull off a successful surprise party. And Rita is touched that everything is to her liking. The decorations are her favorite color. They found a cake that she likes. And of course, the guests are people she would know. And it turns out very well. And the rest of the siblings do admit that Leni deserves the credit for this surprise party. And they also confess to Leni that they didn't want her to be part of the planning because of her tendency to give away the surprise, but they now recognize that she is a great party planner. And they actually want to make Leni the family's official party planner. Leni accepts this offer with glee, and she ends up giving away Lynn Sr.'s surprise party in the future. So the segment ends with everyone besides Leni face palming that Leni gave away the surprise yet again. Now, this segment is one where Leni is in the spotlight, and I rather like this segment a lot because this was another example where you could understand all the sides. I felt everyone was portrayed sympathetically. And that's because, well, like it's saying, I mean, it's not much of a surprise party if the surprise is given away. And I do think that the rest of the siblings had a valid point in not wanting to include Leni because of her tendency to give away the surprise. But at the same time, they also recognize that Leni is a great party planner. And what I liked about that was it showed us more of Leni's strengths. Like, we know Leni is great with fashion, she's great with crafts, so being great at planning parties is another strength of Leni's. And that's where they have to strike a balance, is essentially what they're going to have to do, because while they do recognize that Leni is talented when it comes to party planning, and they do want to make her the official party planner, they still have to figure out their very valid concern about Leni giving away the surprise, which we saw at the end of the segment. Leni ended up giving away Lynn Sr.'s surprise party before it even happened. But I think they'll figure out a balance. Like, I don't know if they actually will follow up on it, or if that's just something that fans will make continuations for to fill in the blanks for themselves. But it definitely, I think it does reinforce the whole idea of a team effort. Like, they can have Leni be the party planner, but they do have to figure out a way to make sure that Leni doesn't give away the surprise. And yeah, that's the title of the segment, No Spoilers, also can apply for things outside of surprise parties. Like someone who gives away like the new material for a story, like if it's a new episode of a TV show or a movie, like yeah, you definitely have to tread cautiously about not giving away certain events. Like if it's recently released, like there are certain situations where while it may have been a surprise when it originally came out, almost everyone knows about it after a certain point in time once it's entered pop culture. Like Star Wars, of course, has a very famous example of something that's not really much of a surprise anymore, just to name an example. Otherwise, I did like that we got a few brief appearances of some other characters. Again, it was they're minor appearances, like that in some cases they don't really have dialogue, but it's still nice to see them recognized. Like Dr. Feinstein appears in the segment, so it was nice to see him back again since, yeah, Rita, they haven't really brought up Rita's job again since A Novel Idea, besides his appearance here, so I appreciated his appearance here. And we get to see Albert and Ruth show up as well, and again, they have no dialogue, but it's nice to see that they're remembered. And well, actually, yeah, the fact that Ruth is said to be Rita's aunt, the Loud siblings' great aunt, that gives the impression that, yeah, that would make Ruth would be Albert's sister. Yeah, Albert and Ruth would be siblings. Or, yeah, that's it. They would be siblings. So we didn't get to see them interact, though, but it was nice to see both of them appear on screen at the same time. And I'm hopeful that we'll get to learn more about the extended relatives of the Loud family in season 3. So again, it was a minor detail, but I thought it was a nice touch all the same. And there we go. So as for which segment I prefer more, I think I'm going to have to give the edge more to this segment, the B segment. But having said that, I have nothing against the A segment. I did enjoy the A segment a lot. I thought both segments were good. I just felt this segment was a little stronger. And I think that was more because of, yeah, Leni's strengths as a party planner being shown, like minor details about other characters that are in the Loud family's lives, whether it's Rita's boss or her relatives, besides, of course, her kids and her husband. So, and yeah, I thought everyone was also portrayed very sympathetically here, where you can understand Leni is great at party planning, but the rest of the family had valid concerns about Leni giving away the surprise. So all around, this was a very strong segment. And the other one was no slouch either. I just give the edge more to this segment. Now, with that said, we've now discussed both segments of episode 47 on this channel. Take care, and until next time.